Hey Planner fam, welcome back to Best Laid Plans, and it is a organize with me day on the channel, but also kind of a trash to treasure DIY sort of storage solution. I have, as you might be able to tell from this rather large, see the corner here. So this is my big pile of all of my scrapbook paper pads. I think that I probably had more at one point when I was more into scrapbooking, which I'm still into, but now I have this sort of collection. I use it for different things. You know, I use it in my spreads. I will use it for decorating things with punches. I will use it for a background when I'm taking a photo. I use it for lots of different things. So I have a lot of different kinds. And I have been running into an issue where I just can't keep them all together and they are completely unorganized. So I need a system to keep them together. And that is what I am going to try to do today. Now, the other thing I have a lot of, and if you've ever been a Happy Planner who orders from like the Happy Planner website, you will know like this is a thing. It doesn't matter what you order. They send it in these absolutely huge hot pink, like fuchsia, like the color that I'm trying to get my hair to be all the time, really. Is it close? I probably need to bleach it again and do the dye, but probably a little close. But I have a lot of them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and I have even more in other places because I can't bring myself to just throw them away even though they're foiled. I want to use them. I can use them to send like holiday gifts and things, so they're like a decent size envelope, but I just have so many of them and I wanted to use them for something. And then the other day I kind of was thinking about it. So this is these are my 12 by 12 pads. I have smaller ones, but they're just in a little like thing I can sift through and see. These ones are just tons of loose sheets because they inexplicably become detached from the covers and everything at some point after you've like used them enough. So I had been trying to keep them by book. Works for my sticker books, does not work for my scrapbook paper. And if you have the same problem, hopefully this will help you. So I looked and I noticed that a 12 by 12, and I'll also zoom out a little bit. So the 12 by 12 scrapbook paper pad fits perfectly inside of the Happy Planner foiled mailers. And I got thinking to myself, well, if I'm gonna be kind of sorting these into categories, it would make sense maybe to have them in like a binding of some sort that could keep them together. And my idea is that I can cut this to a certain degree and either make like a little pocket or a band. So I'm probably going to like maybe take tape and seal this up. But that way I get like maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different categories out of these mailers or more, depending on how I can seal them. And these will kind of hold this different scrapbook pages, individual sheets together a little bit easier. I'll be able to kind of slide it on and off. This is also going to be something I do in combination with taking my scrapbook paper organizer that I have in my cube shelf and just making sure that the shelves are secured and not falling out, and even possibly rearranging it to be a, you know, however I need it to be in terms of what I have. But the first step before we do this part is actually going to be to organize these into categories. So that's the next step. So I have a lot of different scrapbook paper, and I usually buy them within like themes. Oh, see, this is one of the other reasons I need to do this. Sometimes I will actually use things and I'll save the scraps, and I just, because I'm being lazy or something, I stick them in here when I actually have like a little folder sleeve that I've been putting these in. And so they need to go to another place. So like, I'll have to figure out if that's gonna work best or not. So I'll pull those out as I'm kind of like going through things. But I have a lot of, for instance, like the Celestial, I have like Fairy Tale Unicorn, I have Music Theme, I have like a Marbled Effect, I have Foiled, lots of Foiled, I have Seasonal, and a ton of Floral. So I have like, and then like Christmas stuff, and then like other stuff. So like a lot of different things. And so I thought about doing it by that category, and then I also thought about doing it by color, and I'm just not sure what's gonna work. So I think what I'm gonna do first is actually take them and sort them by type. So like, I would consider this to be like a Celestial one because it's got like the stars and Milky Way. And then for like the florals, you know, just kind of keep all of them together and do like seasonal. So we'll try it that way. And then maybe if I want to then say, no, actually, I think I'm going to organize by color, we'll do that. But I think that the themes are a good place to start. And I'm just going to go through, and any book that's not deconstructed, I will go ahead and deconstruct. So I have like a few, for instance, that have already kind of come apart, but then I have some like this Craftsmark, for instance, and this is Hearth and Harvest. So this is very clearly like fall florals. Obviously there's like Thanksgiving stuff. I've used some of it, and you know, it's coming out at the seams already. So I'm going to go ahead and just take that completely apart and organize the individual sheets. And if I have some that are like used like this and kind of hanging on, maybe I can put them separate from the whole sheets, because I do, again, use these for backgrounds or my Instagram. You'll see that like pretty backgrounds in a lot of my photos there. That is usually a scrapbook paper or decorative paper of some kind that I'm using as like the backdrop for my spread, just to add that visual interest, because I think it looks really nice, and I just love using scrapbook paper. Scrapbook paper is fun. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to be sorting through, doing that initial, and then we're going to come back and kind of do the next step in organizing. So the next part of this organizing is the DIY trash to treasure kind of part. And what you'll need is your empty envelopes from the Happy Planner, or really any large mailing envelope that fits 12 by 12 scrapbook paper pads like will work. What I've done is I've gone ahead and I've just kind of taken off the labels for the address. I am not worried about this like residue or anything being on here, because you're not going to see this when it's on the shelf. And I just kind of want a quick and easy way of reusing it. Now, one thing you will need to do is anywhere that like the envelope is open at one end, we're going to use regular tape to tape this up. And the reason you want to do that is because if you use washi tape, it's not going to be strong enough. We really need this to be down fully. If you have like packing tape, that would be even better. I don't have packing tape, so I'm just going to use Scotch tape. But I'm going to go through, and basically we're just going to tape these like edges that are open together, because we're going to end up cutting this in half and making 2 pockets. So that is what's next. Alright, I am finally done with sorting everything, and now I can show you what I ended up with. I have about 10 categories, but I only had 8 of the big size Happy Planner mailers. I had like some of the classic size and the smaller ones, but we need the one that's big to fit this 12 by 12 paper. So I ended up combining a couple because I just had too few and they were like small. So I'll show you what I have. I have 2 fall. This is like fall autumn proper. So all of my autumn ones are in here, all my autumn colors. And then along kind of those lines, I have the spooky gothic Halloween kind of like creepy scrapbook paper here. So those are my 2 fall. And then I have Christmas and winter, and that is all of my like winter holidays and snow and all that kind of stuff. So that is those. And you can see I've already kind of tucked them in, and it's keeping them really well. I would say that the probably max you want to put in one of these is probably about what would account for like 1 pad of 12 by 12 paper, like a large one that had everything in it. So it'll hold about that size. So everything is in there and it's holding really well. And then the next categories I have are celestial. So celestial is anything with stars and the sky, outer space, stuff like that. Moon phase. So that's all of my celestial ones. I have a lot of those. Then I have my florals, and I have just anything that is primarily just florals is in here. And I do have a lot of those. Then I have the next ones that have some combined in them. But before that, I do have some just solid colors. So these are just solid. They don't have anything else going on. And I like to use really busy scrapbook prints for spreads that are a little more subdued. Maybe they don't have a lot of different color, they're more black and white. And then for spreads that are very, very colorful and I need just a little bit for the background, I can use the solids or one of the like more toned down patterns. So that is those. And then in terms of things that I had to kind of combine space for, I have my rainbow, like just multicolor patterns. And then in the same one, I have all of my black and white, just regular pattern, black and white patterns. So they're 2 different things, but I've placed them in the same one because they'll fit and they kind of go together in that way. And then last but not least, in this one, I have my special music themed stuff that I use. I use these for my opera background, so I don't really take them apart or use them for anything else. And then behind that, we have our foil, all of my foil stuff. And then on the other side, and again, you won't see this, so I didn't cover this up. I have all of my colorful patterns. So, and I put them in rainbow order, starting with like creams and oranges, and then blues and greens, pink and red, and then purple. So I have all of those in color order now. So that is all of my categories. And as you can see, instead of like trying to flip through things or flip through books, now if I know, okay, I want to have a floral background, I can just pull this out and I can kind of thumb through the florals and they're all together. And that just is going to be a lot easier for me. And I think it looks really nice as well, just having them kind of sorted together. So the next thing I want to do is get these on the shelf and we're gonna make some nice pretty labels for them, and I'll show you how I did that. I had to zoom out way back so you could see, but this is the scrapbook paper sorter that I've had for a while. I did get this from Amazon. It fits the 13 inch by 13 inch cubes from like the Threshold brand from Target or from IKEA. Basically anyone that fits like 12 by 12 cubes will fit. And so that's what I use. But you can see now how everything is in its little containers neatly inside of this. And instead of having it on its side where everything's falling out, I've turned it this way so that I can actually, when I need scrapbook paper, just pull the whole thing out and thumb through and find the exact sheet that I need, put it back wherever I need to in where it goes, and looks good. I still have room to grow, maybe like another 2 categories or something, but I don't think I will. I think the ones that I would grow in my collection would be things like holiday and the spooky, because I don't have a lot of those, and then like my music stuff. So that's what it looks like, and then I will show you in the finale what it looks like on my shelf, but we have everything together here. So to make it even easier for me to find things, I did want to make labels that I can tie onto this, because this has like a little grid, so that's easier to find things. And I have these little tags and ribbon. If you don't have like tags and ribbon, you could so easily just put like sticker labels onto this, or like punch a tag yourself and tie it with ribbon. But I've had these for a while, so I have already labeled them, and I'll kind of just show you how I did that. Putting them all in order here. So I had these tags already, and I just took Happy Planner stickers, you could use any deco boxes that you have. I just happened to just pull out my my Flower Power Mega Book, and I got these little boxes from there, but you can use any deco boxes, you can use a label maker, whatever you have. And then this is a Sharpie that I wrote on with that. It's this one of these fine point ones. I got this from the Dollar Tree, and it's this pretty like soft sage green color. I really like it. So that's what I use to do the labels. And so I have all of my categories now, and what I'm going to do is take these and just tie them on so that I can kind of access everything really, really quickly, and it'll present really well as well. So that's next. And here is the final product on the shelf. I am loving this. I love how the Happy Planner big packaging just kept all of the different categories of paper together. It was way cheaper than buying sleeves for these. Let me tell you, I priced it, and I would have needed at least like 8 to 10 of them, and it would have been really expensive. So I was able basically to use things that I had already, and essentially the only thing that cost money would have been this organizer. And I mean, I'm using it that way, but you could use bookends with this method. I mean, anything goes. I'm super, super happy. And just as a pro tip, if you do decide to use like bookends to hold these together, the little end of the packaging right here, you can hole punch that and attach the tag directly to that, so it still functions with the labels. So that is just how it turned out. I'm super, super happy. It looks so much better, and I actually know what stuff is now. Thank you so much for watching this Organize with me. I will have another video coming up soon, next Wednesday. I hope you're having a very good weekend and MLK Day as well this week, and I will catch you next week with a new planner video. Bye!